So I would like, on behalf of 2M, to thank the Lord Lieutenant, Mayor of Holton, and Paul for the very kind and inspiring words. Definitely, as you heard, winning the Queen's Award is considered the highest achievement for business. Some compare it actually to winning the Premier League Cup for business. I think there's a difference because we got it for 5 years rather than 1 year. But it means also that if we want to maintain it and get it again, we need to continue to increase our export business. And we start from a certain level, so we need to get higher. So it becomes more difficult. But I have no doubt that with the help of all our business partners, employees, this is achievable because we've done it before. Maggie and I had already the opportunity to attend the reception at Buckingham Palace, where we met members of the royal family, and we met winners of this year and past years. And it was actually quite nice because we had the formal opening of the office here a couple of months ago in the presence of the Duke of Gloucester, and he was one of the members of the royal family, and he walked to us and said, "I've been looking for you, I saw your name on the list." So people were looking, who are these guys that he knows them, which was a nice experience. So this has been a journey, and you heard some of the description. It wasn't an easy, but as we say, if something is easy, everyone can do it. So we try to do something that is a bit more difficult. And our roots are here in the UK because 2M was formed by buying Banner Chemicals. And when we acquired Banner Chemicals in September 2004, and I see here Lawrence and Howard from UHY, and I think between them and Colin Boyle, I don't know how many Excels you changed in order to make the right presentation to Royal Bank of Scotland, where we borrowed the money at that time, but it wasn't an easy exercise. And at that time, we had 3 sites. We had the warehouse in Liverpool, the offices, which were not far from here in Runcorn, and the site in Stratford, East London. 3 sites. Today, we operate out of 10 sites in the UK. So the warehouse in Liverpool, which became much more active after acquiring the export business. The new offices here in Runcorn, because the old offices became too small for us. The packed chlorine business in Runcorn. Surfachem offices in Leeds, Surfachem warehouse in Elland. Samplewright, the application laboratory at Huddersfield. Feelwright in Newton Aycliffe, the Middlesbrough site, and Stolin in Leicester. So 10 UK sites. And we operate out of 8 sites outside the UK, in Brazil, in Norway, in Belgium, 2 facilities in Germany, or 2 companies in Germany, 2 in China. So we've made a journey, but we must continue and grow because we want to win this award again. But also we think that to continue and stay where we are is not going to be interesting enough. Operating and exporting to 90 countries requires engaging with many cultures. Not only in the UK, because we've got the Lancashire culture, the Yorkshire culture, Leicestershire, and it's amazing how these 60 miles make such a big difference in cultures, but also exporting to 90 countries. So what is combining it all? It's chemistry, because chemistry and science, they basically have no borders. Now, I wouldn't say they have no borders, because when we look to grow our business, we have some borders and boundaries. So when we try to investigate what should we do next, which country, which business area should we go, we ask 3 questions. Question number 1, is it safe? Question number 2, is it ethical? And question number 3, can we grow a long-term sustainable business? And in many cases, with business partners like we have here, with friends who followed us for many years, giving good advice, with the employees, the answer is yes, and it's yes we can because we've done it before. But these are the boundaries we set on ourselves because the borders are only what a person or a company is setting on itself, not the environment. We spoke a bit about the export business. So I mentioned there will be demonstrations to understand what is the export business, but what is export, how did it grow? Surfacam have had an export business for a while, and these are providing products and application know-how in the personal care, hygiene area, so we can say we make people around the world to look better and to improve their hygiene. And Banner export business, that was based on acquiring product line from Ineos, is products that are used to clean parts in the aviation industry, so to make airplanes to fly safer, supplying to refineries to improve the catalytic process. So products with a lot of added value. It's not enough to have the products and the know-how. We need to have good partners like we have here, and the dedicated employees with a lot of know-how. And our employees, all of them make a very important role, even if they are not involved in the export business. Because if in Surfacam, if Bill and Kirsty will not buy at the right price, the right quality, there is nothing to export. And if finance will not ensure that we have the fund to pay to the suppliers, or will collect the money on time from customers, then our existence will be very short. And if we don't comply, so compliance is very important. Everyone plays an important role. But there are a few people who are more involved. I would say 100% of their time is really the export business. So I would like to mention in Surfacam, Martin Chambers, Suhail, Vicky, Paul. They travel the world to find new applications, new customers, new opportunities. And in Banner Chemicals, the export team is led by Maggie, supported by Francis and Richie. Richie, don't leave this place without speaking to Richie. He's our youngest employee. And if anyone sometimes has a bad day, he goes and speaks to Richie. He will not leave without a smile. And the work is done, so these are the people who visit, but the work is done with a lot of people who are involved in making sure that the product is living on time, at the right packing. So for Surfacam it is here, Phil Binney and his team doing a great job, and the Liverpool warehouse led by Emma and by Glyn and by Andy and Graham, they make sure that even at a very short notice, the product is supplied on time. I mentioned suppliers. We have here a few suppliers. I would like to mention them, so making sure that I won't miss anyone. We have here Stepan, Dow Chemicals, BASF, Seconds, which were known until recently as Chemoxy, so we need to get used to the new name, and Innovin, which came out of Ineos. These are companies supplying us the chemicals. Very important also are the people who helped us to fund our growth, and these are a bank by the name Investec, so we have Investec here. Thank you very much for your support over the years and for the future. The packing, so chemicals require special packing. We have the Saturn isotank part outside. This is how we deliver product in bulk to refineries around the world. It takes the time to go into the tank. You'll see how it is constructed. Saturn, Greif also did help us, so another company, Greif, who supplies the packing, and they help us to develop a very nice drum that is suitable for the products. We store product in bulk with interterminals. People who support us in preparing the right documentation, getting the right shippings at the right prices are Kerry Logistics. Export logistic providers, Renus and Surefreight. And I mentioned before, very important, our accountants, but also financial advisors, UHY Hacker Young, who did support all our acquisitions in not only with Excels, but also, are you sure you want to do it? And we argue most time, yes, we'll do it. We have 42 creative who help us in our marketing design and IT solutions, helping with the web promotion. So all very important partners. Now today is a very special day, and we didn't realize at the beginning, because when it was announced that we won the Queen's Award for international trade, we got in touch with the Cheshire Lieutenancy and trying to find a day in a busy diary, and we fixed it on the 17th of September. Only when we went back, we looked and said, that's interesting, because 17th of September was also the day we celebrated Banner 150 years anniversary at Liverpool Town Hall. So quite a coincidence. And then we checked and said, but actually also September of 4 is when 2M was born by Acquire Banner Chemicals. So we are celebrating 3 happy events on one day: the Queen's Award for Export, Banner Chemicals 159 years anniversary. We can say 160, I mean, almost there. And 15 years to 2M Holdings. So very happy events. And it's a year since we moved to the new offices, also because we moved in September. And it's very interesting that also this year is we are celebrating 150 years to the periodic table of elements. Because in 1869, Dmitri Mendeleev presented the periodic table of elements to the Russian Chemical Society. And we have the table in various places in the office. And Mendeleev, at that time, had no idea that many of the elements actually existed, because many elements were discovered after his time, and there are few still to be discovered. So how did he know? I mean, he used his logic and imagination to put elements on the table. He said, this is a logic, and I know that there are certain relationships there. We can conduct a chemistry class. Maggie will be happy to do it, to go through it. And I thought it's interesting because using logic and imagination to find your journey is also something we do in business, because we don't know exactly to which market we will go, which business area, which country, but we know for sure that we will continue to expand because we want to do it. We know it will be based on chemistry-based solutions. And we know that with help of business partners like we have here and the employees, we can do it. So thank you very much for your current, past, and future support. And this is a time also to thank people who helped this event happen. So we've got Fiona and John of Mint Events. They help with all the ideas, putting the flags and the food, and more to come. The catering team, and I recommend you try the foods in the different places, trying to resemble the different cultures that we are interfacing on a daily basis. And very important, you, our employees, our business partners. And of course, and Gemma and Lisa, who sent you the invitations and kept on chasing you. Now, you heard we had events in the past, we'll have events in the future. Please answer on time. Make their life more with it. So, thank you very much for coming, and make sure that you come to our next celebration, because we know we'll have a next celebration. Thank you.